What's up, guys? Lance here at the Whole Cosmos channel, where nothing's off the table in the entire whole cosmos. Coming to you with an update on my Vanquish VRD Carbon Kit build. Heard a lot of people complain about the shocks. Maybe it was the old versions, but anyways, I came across this interesting thing when I started to assemble my shocks. There's part of the shock that's pre-assembled, and you can see looks like there's two O-rings, X-rings. They look to be rubber O-rings in there that are pre-seated. I'm not sure why they do that pre-assembly for you. Maybe because they think you don't have a tool for that clip there. But as you can see, it says pre-assembled, and there's the pre-assembled assembly that I was just showing you. My hypothesis is that because this is pre-assembled, those O-rings were not pre-lubricated with silicone, like I've always done on all my O-rings. Whenever I do any assembly of any parts that call for O-rings, I was taught before, I don't know if it was directions or just somebody taught me, I was taught always to pre-lube your O-rings with silicone faucet grease lubricant. This is a very viscous silicone grease lubricant that will stay on the surface of the O-ring and create a complete seal there for so that your lower viscosity shock oil does not leak by the seal. And on this one here, I did it already, and it has a nice, it almost feels like there's oil in there already when you try to pull it. I can't do it with my one hand, but yeah, it's nice and smooth and has like resistance already. But I think that's probably why people's shocks are leaking, because those O-rings aren't pre-lubricated with a thicker viscosity silicone lubricant, and so it doesn't provide a good enough seal in those pre-seated rings there. Also, there's one at the top of the shock assembly. I've not lubed those yet, but I plan to lube those up too before I do my final assembly, before I put the lighter shock fluid in there. It comes with, I think, 35 weight fluid for these shocks in the kit. I may run 30. I think I have 30 weight. I know I definitely have 40 weight. So maybe I'll run what they gave me in the kit in the fronts, and then put my 30 weight in the rears. Okay. So sorry for the harsh lighting. I wanted you to see those O-rings down in that cavity there. You can see it down in there. See if I can get a better shot. Sorry. They're like orange color. There, I think you can see the separation between the two. So anyways, yeah, I just took a Q-tip with the lube on it and ran it in there, and then I smeared the lube on the shaft, and then I ran the shaft up and down in there a few times. But yeah, I think that's probably why people are having leaky shocks. They're not pre-lubing their O-rings. And then another thing is, when you shove the shaft through, You kind of have to be really gentle when you're pushing the threaded end of the rod through, so that you're not nicking or tearing those O-rings in there. So just try to be very careful to find where the center is, and then push very, very slowly and with even pressure until the smooth part pushes through. If it's not lubed and you're forceful and off center on that, you're probably going to nick and tear those O-rings in there when there's no lube on a dry shaft and those threads. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my tip on assembling these partially pre-assembled shocks from Vanquish. Hopefully that'll help you guys prevent your shocks from leaking. I will give you an update on whether or not my method worked for preventing the shocks from leaking, but I've done shock rebuilds many times in the past, and I have not had them leak on me when I do this method. Okay, that's it, guys. Lance here at the Whole Cosmos channel. Catch you on the flip side.